Okay, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Lincoln City Council meeting of January 23rd, 2023, that is. In accordance with LB 898, please be advised that a copy of the Opens Meeting Act is posted at the back of the chamber by the northwest door. Let us all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a brief period of silent meditation.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It is. The order of business of the City Council is as follows. The clerk will call the items listed on the agenda. Under public hearing, anyone wishing to speak on an item should come forward after the clerk reads that item. The council shall require any member of the public desiring to address the council to identify themselves, the name of an organization or group, including an address that you may be representing by such person or group, unless the address requirement is waived to protect the security of the individual. The applicant may then make one short rebuttal. Each speaker should begin by stating their name, address, organization, or group, and whether you are speaking in favor of or in opposition to this item. Testimony is limited to 5 minutes per speaker. After all public hearings, the council will vote on resolutions and items listed under third reading. On the second and last Mondays of the month, immediately prior to adjournment, anyone may speak on any issue not on the agenda for that date, nor planned for a future agenda. And before we proceed to the agenda, I just want to give a welcome and a personal welcome to our newest councilwoman, Michelle Suarez, and her first meeting. Thank you for being here. We are extremely glad to have you present.
If I could just say,
Yes.
received a warm welcome from the mayor, from the mayor's office staff, and from the city council. Thank you.
Great, great. Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, will you please call the first item of business?
Our first item of business is the Mayor's Award of Excellence.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the council. It's so nice to be back again to present the Mayor's Award of Excellence for November of 2022. This award goes to Melissa Fuller, a public information specialist with our city communications team. And she was nominated not one, not two, but 3 of her colleagues. She was nominated by LNK TV Operations Manager Bo Wolf, Lincoln Lancaster County Health Department Public Information Officer Leah Bucko White, and former City Communications Manager Diane Gonzalez. And they nominated her in the categories of customer relations and productivity for her communications expertise and her work to update our government access health channel. Melissa joined our city team back in 2011 to expand LNK TV's health channel. In short order, she developed partnerships across our city to create interesting and educational programming focused on health and fitness. Well, Melissa's focus on health took on new meaning and significance during the COVID-19 pandemic, and her work to record and distribute videos and photos of vaccination clinics for both the health department and our local media outlets, that helped to keep our community members informed and also encourage them to get vaccinated. And in her nomination of Melissa, Leah Bucko White wrote, quote, Melissa played an instrumental role in the development of many of the health department's COVID-19 communications, and her efforts helped protect the public and save lives, unquote. In his nomination letter for Melissa, Bo Wolf described the manner in which Melissa consistently approaches her work, even during the toughest of times. Bo wrote, quote, Melissa's customer service skills are exemplary. She is one of the friendliest people that I know, and she always arrives with a smile on her face and a happy greeting for her coworkers. So will you all please join me in congratulating Melissa Fuller for her professionalism, her communications expertise, and her bright demeanor. And come on up, Melissa, I'll give you the award. I'd next like to invite,
Oh, no.
I guess that's an exception to your sign ordinance. A welcome exception.
I didn't see anything.
I'd love
great
to invite Bo
exception.
Wolf to come up from City Communications, and then in addition to Bo, we'll hear from Pat Lopez and from Diane Gonzalez. So we'll start with Bo.
Hi, Bo.
Congratulations. Today's a great day. Melissa's a great employee. She's a great asset for our team, does great work. I don't think people realize how much she does with the health department, with the city. The videos that you produce are just outstanding. Great member of our team. Has always been here for us. You know, during COVID, these meetings has been great to work with.
Thank you, Bo.
Congratulations again.
That's great.
And then, Diane, do you want to come?
First of all, I want to wish Melissa congratulations. And one of the things that was not in the nomination is that everyone Melissa works with comes up to me and says, I love working with her. And I think that says a lot, of not just about the quality of the work that she does, but about what a great person she is. And so congratulations, Melissa. Thank you so much.
And next, we have Pat Lopez come forward. Aw.
We've heard a lot about Melissa and what she's done during the pandemic and all the efforts, but I'm here to tell you I've known Melissa probably since she's been here, even though I was away from the city for a while, and she does a fabulous job. Many of the health promotion materials and the efforts that come out are a joint effort, and I've never heard Melissa lose her patience, even when she's been trying to corral 4 or 5 of us together to do something. She's just a tremendous asset, and she's one of those people that doesn't always get thanked for the great job she does, but we couldn't do it without her.
Would you like to say a few words, Melissa?
It feels really weird, but I want to say really quick, when something like this makes me really feel like I'm accepting this as part of a team. I'm very proud and to be part of not only City Communications but also the Health Department, 2 really impressive and amazing groups of people that do a lot of good with the city. A lot of people don't get seen and do a lot of things behind the scenes, and so the City Comm team, John, Emily, Justin, Jesse, Austin, Bo, Diane, and our newest team member Kelly, they're all part of this communications team. I'm just one spoke in an amazing wheel of communication, and so and also want to give a shout out to all the public information officers, including Leah, who do an amazing job and I learn from every day. I'm really proud to be part of that, and my only PSA or my shout out is these are wonderful days, and I'm really appreciative to all the thanks, but sometimes it's the simple thanks every day, and so, you know, anytime you can give not only to the City Comm and PIO, to anybody that works across the city, all the amazing people that work across the city, all it takes is, you know, a sincere smile and earnest thank you and a few kind words, and you know, it's free, it's easy, and it's very contagious. So, and with that, I would thank all of you guys for all the work you guys do, the mayor and city council. It's not an easy job at times, but thank you guys. Thanks.
Thank you.
Do you have any family members here you want to point out?
Sorry. Well, thank you. My husband's with me today. Andrew, and my son Henry couldn't make it. He has school, and so it's a little hard to get him out, but. And so thank you for them too, to be putting up with some odd hours and occasionally last minute filming at our house. So, so yeah, thank you guys as well. Thanks.
All right,
Councilman
give Melissa
Cho.
another round of thanks and congratulations.
Councilman Shobe, I'd like to recognize you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Melissa, thank you. I was thinking about all the things I wanted to say, and then everyone else said them already. we've done lots of projects together. I've been on camera and behind camera with Melissa, and my first thing was I love working with her, and which is what Diane said. Melissa has this ability to, and I've done a little bit of the work myself. Things never go like you plan them to go, but she always gets to yes or let's get it done. It's never really a complaint about getting it done. It's like a deep breath and then we get it done, and always with a smile. And I appreciate what you do, what you've done for the city, and the things you do in the community with the scouts too. We've talked about that a little bit. You're just awesome. Thank you. This a great award winner. Thank you.
Anyone else would like to speak? Congratulations, Melissa. Great job. Thank you. Well, we'll give it a minute to the guests to clear the chamber. You don't all have to leave. You can stay around for the fun. Councilman McGinnis, you must stay. Sorry to disappoint you. Nice try. All right. Okay, when you're ready, Madam Clerk, I think.
All right, next on our agenda, we have the public hearing consent agenda, which is items 1 and 2.
Is there anyone present that would like to speak on either items 1 or 2 on the agenda? Items 1 and 2? Okay, seeing none,
Okay.
we can move on.
We can start to vote on these items. So item 1A is approving a professional services agreement, supplemental number 2 for preliminary engineering services between the city and Olson Incorporated for Fletcher Landmark Trail Project, introduced by Shob.
So moved.
Second.
Seconded by McGinnis. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please call the vote.
McGinnis,
Yes.
Shob,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
Suarez,
Yes.
Washington,
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0. Item 1B is approving a professional services agreement supplemental number 2 for preliminary engineering services between the City of Lincoln and Kirkham Michael and Associates Incorporated for the South 56th Street from Spruce to Van Dorn Rehabilitation Project, introduced by Shob.
So moved.
Second?
Seconded by Washington. Further discussion? Seeing none, please call the vote.
Washington,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
McGinnis,
Yes.
Suarez,
Yes.
Shob,
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0. Item 2A is setting the hearing date, introduced by Shob.
So moved.
Second.
Seconded by McGinnis. Further discussion? Seeing none, please call the vote.
Bowers,
Yes.
Suarez,
Yes.
Washington,
Yes.
McGinnis,
Yes.
Shob,
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0.
Okay.
Next up, we have our public hearing liquor resolutions. When an applicant does come forward, just please raise your hand so I can administer the oath. I will be calling items 4A and 4B together. That would be the application of Family Dollar Incorporated, doing business as Family Dollar 24339 for a Class B liquor license located at 4684 Layton Avenue, and the related manager application of Chad A. Thomas.
Is there anyone present to address this item, to speak on items 4A and 4B? Anyone present to address 4A and 4B? Okay. Seeing none, we can move on.
Item 4C is the manager application of Tara M. McCombs for Walmart Incorporated, doing business as Walmart 3823, located at 3400 North 85th Street.
Is there anyone present to speak on this item? Anyone present to speak on item 4C? Seeing none, we can move on.
And item 4D is a manager application of Jessica A. Wilcox for Hopcat LN LLC, doing business as Hopcat Lincoln, located at 601 P Street.
Anyone present? Come on forward. Welcome. You state your name and address, and I believe she can raise her hand to be sworn in. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth as you fairly believe it to be?
Yes.
Thank you.
My name is Jessica Wilcox, address for Hopcat 601 P Street.
Great. And could you tell us a little bit about your application?
Yeah, I just recently took over as general manager of the restaurant, and so I just wanted to continue our liquor license under my name.
Very good. Any questions for Jessica? Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes. Congratulations. Councilwoman Washington.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Hi, I just had one question. It might have been a typo in the application, but I think it said that your training, your manager's training or your liquor training was, you'd be taking it next October of '23. Was that?
Oh, I signed up for the February one.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
That clears that
Okay.
up. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for our applicant? All right. Seeing none, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
seeing no one else coming forward on these 4 items, I'd like to move approval of item 4A through 4D.
Second.
Seconded by Washington. All right. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please call the vote.
Bowers,
Yes.
Washington,
Yes.
Schob,
Yes.
Suarez,
Yes.
McGinnis,
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0. Next, we have our public hearing resolutions. Item 5A is approving a service agreement between the City of Lincoln on behalf of Lincoln Parks and Recreation Department and Timothy Rowland for management at the Pioneers Golf Course for the period of February 1st, 2023 through January 31st, 2027.
Director, welcome.
Good afternoon. I'm going to, if it's all right, kind of give comments on 5A, B, and C all together, since they're all,
Yes.
we're kind of talking about the same item.
Uh-huh.
So, but I believe we have to vote separately. So, Maggie Stuckey Ross with Parks and Recreation. Before you today are agreements for 3 of the 4 PGA pros who are our partners at Lincoln City Golf. These pros are Jonathan Benson, the pro at Mahoney Golf, who's here. Dennis Vance, the pro at Highlands Golf, who's also here. And Tim Rowland is the pro at Pioneers Golf, and he couldn't join us here today. Between these 3 individuals, they have had 57 years of service to the City of Lincoln and Lincoln City Golf. So thank you so much, and we're excited to bring forth these contracts today. We contract with these golf professionals to run the 18-hole courses. They're operated under a contract where the professional collects green fees and cart revenue for the city, pays the cost of operation of the clubhouse and driving range, and derives revenue from food and beverage, merchandise, and the driving range. Each contract is unique to the pro and the circumstances at their particular course. Also joining me today is Wade Foreman, who is the golf business coordinator. Wade is responsible for the overall performance of the golf program, including administration of these contracts. Wade and I have been working with JB and Tim and Dennis since August on the terms before you today. The spirit of these contracts truly are a win-win. The City of Lincoln wins when the golf courses are managed well, and that's what these individuals have brought for us. I also want to take a moment to thank our golf maintenance team led by Casey Crittenden. We have an absolutely stellar group of individuals who maintain our facilities. As many of you probably know, Lincoln's at an interesting crossroads in golf today, with many changes happening at our courses across the city. Thanks to the hard work of our maintenance team, our courses are in outstanding condition and continue to be held up in Lincoln as an excellent experience at the right price. So I'm personally grateful for the leadership of the pros. As I've stepped into this role, they've been an incredible help to me. I'm really happy to be here and ask for your support for the contract renewals for JB, Tim, and Dennis. I'm going to have Wade come up and talk a little bit about the process and the system, and hopefully between the two of us we can answer any questions you might have.
Thank you. Wade Foreman, I'm with Lincoln Parks and Rec. I'll just give a brief overview of the Lincoln City Golf system. Lincoln Parks and Rec, Lincoln City Golf maintains 5 public golf courses. These courses are a highly valued community recreation asset. The 4 Lincoln 18-hole courses are strategically located in the 4 quadrants of the city. There is also the 9-hole Jim Ager golf course that's in the center of Lincoln. Each course is well designed and maintained, and the system offers golfers a variety of opportunities to learn and enjoy the game. We have seen an increase in the number of rounds over the last few years. Lincoln City Golf Program is managed as an enterprise fund with operating expenses and capital improvements funded directly through revenues generated from green fees, CIP fees, golf cart rentals, and season passes. The contract development that Maggie was talking about was similar to the process that we had in 2019, where myself and Lynn Johnson worked with the professionals on those contracts. We have a good relationship with the golf professionals at the courses. We communicate on different issues that arise during the season and work together to find some reasonable solutions. The contracted golf professionals are well respected in the region, and each is experienced in running successful operation. So,
Thank you. Any questions for Director either or Wade? Yes, Councilwoman Washington.
Thank you. I noticed in the contracts that the price per round paid is different at a couple, and I was just wondering if ultimately the goal is to get to 69 cents. I'm sorry, now I need my glasses. Is it to equalize the cost per round or the payout per round?
Yeah, each course is just a little unique in the amount of traffic they have that play, and also like the amount of people who come use the driving range. So not each, although we have the cost per round for each course, they're not quite all similar based on different levels of play.
Okay.
So,
All right, thank you.
yep.
Any other questions? Okay.
And
Yes.
since I made them come off the course today, may I have a
Yes.
moment to have JB and Dennis just
Great.
introduce themselves? if that's all
Sure,
right?
that'd be great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name's John Benson. I'm the head golf professional at Mahoney Golf Course on 7900 Adams Street. And this will be my third contract if we get a yes. So nice to be here.
Thanks for coming in and not golfing this
Yes, of
afternoon.
course.
My name's Dennis Bonds. I'm the head pro at Highlands Golf Course. I'm not sure what this contract, 5 or 6 maybe. But,
But
really
who's
enjoyed
counting?
working in the city of Lincoln, and we've been fortunate enough to raise our family here, and now they're all out of college, and so we're empty nesters. So now I'm just enjoying the golf course.
Yeah,
So, but
great.
thank you for allowing us to be part of the city program.
Thanks for being here. Great part of the city you live in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Thanks for being here. Anything else, Director? All right. Thank you very much, all of you.
Thank you for coming down.
Yep. Thank you very much.
Wait.
Thanks for growing our city.
That's right. That's where it happens. Okay, we're ready to move on.
Since they came up for 5A through C, do you want me to read 5B and 5C?
Yeah. Yes, please, if
Okay.
you would. Thank you.
5B was approving a service agreement between the City of Lincoln on behalf of Parks and Recreation Department and Jonathan Benson for management of the Mahoney Golf Course for the period of February 1st, 2023 through January 31st, 2027. And 5C, approving the service agreement between the City of Lincoln on behalf of Parks and Recreation Department and Dennis Bonds for management of the Highlands Golf Course for the period of February 1st, 2023 through January 31st, 2027.
Thank you.
All right. 5D is the Comprehensive Plan Conformance 22024, application of the Urban Development Director to review as to conformance with the 2050 Lincoln Lancaster Comprehensive Plan, a proposed amendment to the Antelope Valley Redevelopment Plan to add the Union and Antelope Valley Redevelopment Project for the construction of a multifamily building with approximately 187 residential units on property generally located along the west side of Antelope Valley Boulevard between K Street and L Street.
Well, we'll see if the Elmo comes up. Dan Marvin, Urban Development, 555 South 10th Street. Here to introduce a exciting project that we're doing in the downtown. It's a total of 187 affordable units that will be bounded between K Street and L Street, 18th Street, and Antelope Parkway. They'll be able to, they'll encompass the entire block. They'll have parking on there. This went before the Planning Commission on December 7th and was approved. It's been before the Urban Design Committee. It's a project that is quite large. It's $50 million investment, would include $3.4 million of tax increment financing. It also provides parking, which is, again, it's great to be able to provide parking on site. This one would be about a 1-to-1 parking. They'll have bike storage on site. They will also have EV charging stations in the parking garage, so be able to prepare for the future. Today, we also have Andrew Willis and Joy Skidmore that I think would like to be able to walk through the project. Andrew is the attorney, and Joy is with Annex. And I would like to give a plug for Annex. They've been a good partner in the city of Lincoln. We did an affordable housing action plan. In that plan, in the decade from 2010 to 2020, the city placed 537 affordable housing units. In the decade from 2010 to 2020, that report will show that there were 537 affordable housing units that were placed in the city of Lincoln. Annex did a project called Middle Creek, 190 units, and this project is 187. They have contributed more than half of what was done in the previous decade just in the last couple of years. So they're a good partner in affordable housing construction. With many partners, our goal is to branch out and find as many people who can partner with the city and build affordable housing in our community, and they certainly have been a big player in that. So I'll stop there and take any questions that you might have, and also reserve some time for Andrew and Joy as well.
Questions for Director Marvin? Questions? Yes, Councilman? No, you're good? Oh, you're fine. You're fine. Thank you. All right. Seeing none. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. Andrew Willis, 233 South 13th Street. On behalf of the developer, this is an exciting project. 187 units, affordable housing, downtown Lincoln. 100% of the units are targeted at 60% or less AMI, so that's kind of the goal where the rent and income would be looking. It'd be 1-story parking garage, 4 stories of apartments on top of it. It's a permitted use in the zoning. Obviously, it fits in well with the comprehensive plan, the Antelope Valley redevelopment plan, and the affordable housing action plan. It's about 79. The breakdown of the 187 units would be 79 1-bedroom, 72 bedroom, 38 3-bedroom, and again, it's part of the funding would be NYFA low-income housing tax credit. So those rents are going to be set by that 60% AMI. Through that program. As Dan said, it's more than a $50 million investment. Obviously, it costs just as much to build. Affordable market rate and affordable cost the same to build, but you can't charge as much for affordable housing because that's the whole purpose of it. And also, it's I'd say more expensive run because of some compliance issues. So that's really where the need comes in. And $3.4 million in TIF will assist quite a ways in some of those eligible improvements. And I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. Oh, I guess I'd mention a couple more things first. I guess we talked about there will be a 1 floor of parking, about 190 stalls in there. They're going to also have bicycle storage for bicycle parking to make sure for that aspect, and then also they're going to have it outfitted ready for electrical vehicle charging stations. So looking forward in those aspects for different modes of transportation as well. And I'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
Any questions for Mr. Willis?
Thank you.
All right, seeing none, thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Joy Skidmore with the Annex Group, 409 Massachusetts Avenue, Suite 300, Indianapolis, Indiana. I just basically want to say thank you to the city for the continued partnership. Union at Middle Creek is going really, really well. I was out there today. it's one of our very few projects that is under budget and on schedule. So can't say that for most of them, right? Yeah, knock on wood. So we're excited to keep that one moving forward and looking forward to the next one. So definitely appreciate all the support that we've been given, and looking for the next partnership as well for the next project, and looking forward to that.
Well, we appreciate you being here. Thank you very much for your interest in Lincoln. Are there any other questions for our guest? All right.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you again. Okay. Seeing no other questions, or we can proceed and move on, Madam Clerk. Is there anyone else present? Thank you, Mr. Christie. Anyone else present to testify on this item? Anyone else? All right. Seeing none, we're ready to move on. Thank you.
Item 5E is accepting and approving the report of new impending claims against the city for December 16th through December 31st, 2022.
Is there anyone present to testify on this item? 5E, pending claims for the city. Item 5E. Anyone present? All right. Seeing none, we can move on.
Item 5F is approving the First Amendment to the Memorandum of Understanding between the City and County of Lancaster to clarify County Board and City Council representation of the Lancaster City of Lincoln Justice Council.
Johansi Christie, City Attorney, 555 South 10th. This proposal really clarifies what I would say what has been the practice of the Justice Council for some time. But the two things that it changes is that it makes it clear that there are two voting members from the county board, whereas right now I think it says chair of the county board. So it makes it clear that there can be two county board members, which again is the practice. And then it also states that there are two council persons who are voting members. The language right now says one or two. Again, I think the practice has been that we've had two city council members. This went before the county board in December. I'd be happy to answer any questions. Try to anyway.
Yes. Councilwoman Suarez.
Since I am new,
Yes.
you could give me just a brief synopsis of what the Justice Council does?
Yes. Well, the Justice Council meets quarterly. It is interlocal between the county and the city. And I believe it's been in effect, I think, since 1988 or so, but it's been in effect for a while. And their purpose is to, they have a common goal of meeting together. Their common goal is to meet and try to work on protecting public safety. So there's almost always a presentation from the jail, as an example, just about the jail population. The county attorney is there, city attorney, representative, and then city council, county board. There's some other members from the county, like the sheriff's office. Councilman Schob, I think, has been attending for a while. Human Services Director is there as well. The Mental Health Crisis Center Director, so we talk about mental health component as well. I did not list everyone, but the university chief of police also attends, or his or her representative. Again, we meet quarterly.
Thank you.
Thank you. Other questions for Mr. Christie? All right. Seeing none, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else present that would like to testify on this item, 5F? Anyone else? Okay. Seeing none, we can move on.
All right, we can now vote on these items. Item 5A, approving a service agreement between the City of Lincoln on behalf of the Lincoln Parks and Recreation Department and Timothy Rowland for management at the Pioneers Golf Course for the period of February 1st, 2023 through January 31st, 2027, introduced by Schob.
So moved.
Second?
Seconded by Washington. Further discussion? Seeing none, please call the vote.
Schob,
Yes.
Suarez,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
McGinnis.
Yes.
Washington,
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0. Item 5B is approving a service agreement between the City of Lincoln on behalf of Parks and Recreation Department and Jonathan Benson for management of the Mahoney Golf Course for the period of February 1st, 2023 through January 31st, 2027, introduced by Schob.
So moved.
Seconded by McGinnis. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please call the vote.
Washington,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
McGinnis,
Yes.
Suarez,
Yes.
Schob,
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0. Item 5C is approving the service agreement between the City of Lincoln on behalf of Parks and Recreation Department and Dennis Fonce for management of the Highlands Golf Course for the period of February 1st, 2023 through January 31st, 2027, introduced by Schob.
So moved.
Second.
Seconded by McGinnis. Further discussion? Seeing none, please call the vote.
Washington,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
McGinnis.
Yes.
Suarez,
Yes.
Schob,
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0. Item 5D is the Comprehensive Plan Conformance 22024, application of the Urban Development Director to review as to conformance with the 2050 Lincoln Lancaster Comprehensive Plan, a proposed amendment to the Antelope Valley Redevelopment Plan, and to add the Union at Antelope Valley Redevelopment Project for the construction of a multifamily building with approximately 187 residential units on property generally located along the west side of Antelope Valley Boulevard between K Street and L Street, introduced by Schob.
So moved.
Second?
Seconded by Washington. Further discussion? Councilman McGinnis.
Director Marvin, quick question. I think I know the answer. But all we're voting on currently is the comp plan amendment. We're not voting on any redevelopment agreement
No.
or any plans to the building.
That's correct. So what we will be doing tomorrow morning, we're going to have a meeting with the developer, and we're going to kick off efforts to bring forward to you a redevelopment agreement, which would have the TIF note, the TIF bond, uses and sources of all that. How soon that will happen, I might find out tomorrow, but I would say it's, over a month away with scheduling and all that, I think. So what you're voting on today is we have a master plan for Antelope Valley. So it's a blighted area. That blighted area, Antelope Valley, has within it a redevelopment plan. That redevelopment plan has many subunits to it, as we did with other areas that we've done within Antelope Valley. We take before you the question that you're bringing up: does this conform with that redevelopment plan? And housing in this area certainly does. So that's the question that's on the table here at this level. If you say yes, we'll proceed working on a redevelopment plan. If you say no, and we had been working on it, then we'll say, well, we're going to scrap that idea. But that's kind of the process that we have going on, and we will bring you, assuming we have a yes, we will bring you a redevelopment plan or redevelopment agreement maybe in the next 4 to 6 weeks.
Okay. What I thought. Thank you.
Any other discussion or comments, questions? Okay, very good. Thank you. Please call the vote.
Bowers,
Yes.
Suarez,
Yes.
Washington,
Yes.
McGinnis,
Yes.
Schob,
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0. Item 5E is accepting and approving the report of new and pending claims against the city for December 16th through December 31st, 2022, introduced by Schob.
So moved.
Second.
Seconded by Bowers. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please call the vote.
Schob,
Yes.
Suarez,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
McGinnis,
Yes.
Washington,
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0. Item 5F is approving the First Amendment to the Memorandum of Understanding between the City and County of Lancaster to clarify County Board and City Council representation on the Lancaster City of Lincoln Justice Council, introduced by Schob.
So moved.
Second.
Seconded by McGinnis. Further discussion? Seeing none, please call the vote.
Washington,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
McGinnis,
Yes.
Suarez,
Yes.
Schob,
Yes.
Ward.
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0. Then we can move on to our public hearing ordinances, second reading and related resolutions. Item 6A is amending the pay schedule for the employee group whose classifications are assigned to the pay range prefixed by the letter M by changing the title Utilities Security Manager to Transportation and Utilities Security Manager.
Hello, Barb McIntyre, 575 South 10th Street, Human Resources Director. This is simply a title change to reflect that the duties have been expanded from just utilities to the entire LTU department, including transportation.
Thank you. Any questions for Director? All right, McIntyre. Okay. Anyone else? Whoops. Anyone else present to testify on this item? All right, seeing none, we can move on, Madam Clerk.
Item 6B is amending the pay schedule for the employee group whose classifications are assigned to the pay range prefixed by the letter C by changing the title of the Victim Witness Assistant to Victim Assistance Advocate.
Yeah, this is a title change again only, and it's to reflect kind of the current work and philosophy around victim assistance advocate instead of assistant. So really it's a title change just to get that advocate word in there on both this position and the next one. It doesn't reflect necessarily a change in pay or anything like that, just simply title.
Any questions for Director McIntyre? Just to clarify, did you say that was the same for 6C as well? Or am I just jumping ahead?
Nope, it's now victim assistant manager and victim assistant
Okay.
advocate instead of that witness piece
Okay.
in there. So we're really just clarifying the work and how it's evolved over time and accurately putting a reflection on what the team is doing. So,
Very good. Any questions? Comments? Councilman Schob.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Director McIntyre, both of these positions exist in public safety?
they're part of the police department today and they are staffed. So it's really just changing the title of, I know for sure we have one victim witness manager that would become the victim assistance manager, and then the other victim witness assistant and would become the victim assistant associate. And I'm for sure we have one person in that title. We might have more than one, but I'm for sure we have one.
But just in public safety, not in other areas of our city government?
Nope.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Other questions? Comments? All right. Seeing none, okay, thank you. Anyone else present on this item that would like to testify? Right, seeing none, we can move on.
I'll still read 6C into the record, which was amending the pay schedule for the employee group whose classifications are assigned by the pay range prefixed by the letter A by changing the title of the following victim witness manager to victim assistance manager.
Thank you for doing so.
And item 6D is amending the pay schedule for employee group whose classifications are assigned to the pay range, which is prefixed by C by changing the pay range for class 5604 transit dispatcher from C18 to C21.
Yeah, you might recall we brought in front of you an action to increase the pay for our bus drivers that require that CDLB because we were having such challenges hiring that. And when we did that, what we did is we compressed the pay between that group of employees and the dispatchers, and almost all our dispatchers promote out of those bus drivers. So what we're trying to do is put that same percentage increase back in between these positions so we can entice people to promote into those dispatcher jobs again, because right now we've compressed it to the point where we might have some trouble recruiting, since we're recruiting from within our ranks someone up to that dispatcher position. So it's moving it from a C18 to C21, and it's about a 3% spread, so we're just putting that back in.
Questions for Director McIntyre? Yes, Councilwoman Washington.
Director McIntyre, I just have two questions. One, when would this pay schedule change or shift take place?
So once we get through third reading, then we have that 15-day waiting period, and then we would be putting it into Oracle, and that's when it would impact the employees or be effective for them after we get past that 15 days. So today's second reading, next week could be third, so in about 20 days. I don't have a calendar in front of me, but
Before Q3?
yes,
Okay.
definitely.
And then the next thing, did we account for this in the budget that we approved last August? This pay increase?
I'm going to let Liz talk about her budget.
Okay.
Did put in our budget a little over a 3% increase for this. I would have to double check. So it should all be accounted for in our budget and covered with what we have.
Thank you.
Yep.
Other questions? I have a question for either of you. I don't know. You may have mentioned this at the last time we discussed this. What does the 3% equate in terms of dollars for an increase in general? Or do we know offhand?
So it goes,
Since
like
it's-
for if everyone, once we get this put in, everyone impacted in the range, is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, just the jump, if I were this employee from a C18 to C21, a 3% increase, how much more would I make?
So the current pay under a C18 starts at $43,940 and tops out at $56,110. Going up to the 21 is, it starts at, sorry, I got to make sure I'm reading the right line, 43,566 and tops out at 58,086.
On the
You
C21.
mean the C21? I have it. It's
Oh,
so
there it is.
C21 is 47,226, and then it maxes at 60,305. So hopefully that matches.
Yes, it does.
Okay,
I was
good.
reading the wrong line.
I was going to say, otherwise, that's
I
not
was
that much of an
repeating.
incentive.
Yeah,
Nope,
it
we
was
match.
actually going down.
Very good, okay. Thank you.
I got to read the right line.
Thank you both for that. All right. Other questions? That's good. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else present to testify on this item 60? Item 60? Okay. Seeing none, let's move on.
Item 6E is change of zone 22038, application of Riga Engineering Group for a change of zone from H3 Highway Commercial to R2 Residential District for 0.35 acres as part of the Coyote Lane planned unit development with up to 32 dwelling units and up to 21,500 square feet of commercial floor area with associated waivers on the property generally located north of O Street between North 66th and North 70th Street along the Mopac Trail.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Nate Burnett, Rig Engineering, 601 Old Cheney Road here in Lincoln. This is an exciting project that has taken, maybe 18 months of just coordination between several different entities, Planning Department, the NRD, LTU, Parks and Rec, and we're excited that it's here this afternoon to discuss. So, as mentioned, North 66th Street, North 70th Street, Dead Man's Run is south of the project. And before you this afternoon is the PUD and the change of zone. This was unanimously approved at Planning Commission. It was before the Urban Design Committee and passed unanimously as well. We've discussed with the Pedestrian Bicycle Advisory Committee. They were excited about expanding and having opportunities for residential development that is adjacent to trails and can be marketed as bicycle friendly. And so we have, let me zoom in here a little bit. We've got 3 commercial lots here on the west side, primarily focused on pet services, pet service campus. And then on the north side, we are proposing 32 row home lots. And so as I said, these would be adjacent to the Mopac Trail. We've been discussing with that committee. They have been very supportive. From the planning staff report, the plan is consistent with the overall goals of the comp plan. specifically in that it supports both commercial and residential infill on an underdeveloped and underutilized parcel. We've been working through some of the comments from the staff report, probably most notably with some things with watershed and the NRD, and we've got a meeting set up on Friday to discuss some of the concerns that they have. So with that, happy to answer any questions that you might have. The developer is here as well.
Thank you. Questions for Nate? Yes, Councilwoman Washington.
Thank you, and thank you for coming down and talking about the project. I've got a couple of questions. First, it was a little confusing in understanding the waiver you were requesting on the number of animals outdoors
Sure.
at the vet clinic. And,
Yes.
3, 10,
I'd be
something?
happy to explain it. So there was some miscommunication. We thought that we were requesting for the whole campus, and so we were requesting 10 for a total of 10. And so what we found out, like the day before Planning Commission, is we could do 3 per lot. And so then the day before and at Planning Commission, we requested that go up to 4 per lot. So it wasn't 10 per lot. We were thinking that it was kind of 10 for the whole campus. And what this would allow is that if there's an animal clinic here, if there's a training and obedience school here and something else here, that the employees could be out with their dogs and not go, oh, hey, can you put your dogs away for a little bit? I need to go out and do my training. And so we worked through that with planning department, health department, all that stuff. And so the waiver that was approved at Planning Commission was for up to 3 per lot.
Per lot, and how many lots are
3
on the
lots.
parcel? Thank you.
Yep.
9 dogs. That's question.
12.
12.
12 now.
4 per lot.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. 12 dogs. All right, that was the first question. The other piece, could you explain a little bit about the stormwater waiver?
Sure. So let me grab something here.
So not creating retention on property on the parcel?
Correct.
And I think the narrative said that there was a desire to move water off the site into Old Man's Run, or Dead Man's Run, before downstream water?
Correct. So typically, here's our lot, this long skinny one in here. So we've got, obviously Dead Man's Run is in the floodway, and then we have floodplain here. And so historically, when you're so close to a channel, you want to get the water off of it before the downstream comes, because if you hold on to that, then as this flow increases, usually it's about maybe the 12-hour mark. If you're holding on to your site and then this comes, you actually make the situation worse. And so we've done this numerous locations throughout the city where we've requested a waiver just so that that water gets downstream before the stuff that's coming comes to the site. Does that make
Before it
sense?
backs up
Right,
to
before
the
it backs
site.
up, yeah.
Thank you.
Other questions? Comments? All right. Seeing none, thank you, Nate.
Yep.
Very much. Others who would like to testify on this item, please come forward. Others, yes? Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Nate?
Go ahead. You can come up.
Come. All right. Very good. Yes. Welcome. Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
Tyson Schlenker, SeaTac Enterprises and Clock Tower Animal Clinic, 7121 O Street. I'm here representing the developer, the owner. You guys have seen me here many times. I've been pretty quiet for most of the time. So I just felt compelled to come up and say thank you. Thank you to council. Thank you to all the departments that we've been working with, urban development, planning, watershed, Parks and Rec, everybody that's collaborated on this. It's been quite an effort. So I want to make sure that we are expressing our thanks as well, in addition to our representatives. And then I also wanted to just briefly remind the status of what this kind of enables and sets us up for the next time. A couple months ago, we talked about the redevelopment agreement for phase 1, the clinic, for the TIF, right? And one of the questions was, well, what is phase 2 and phase 3? What when are those going to be coming? The PUD, the lots that it defines, the work that we have to do to shape the property, all of those things set up phase 2 and phase 3 so that we can submit those applications. So just kind of a reminder of where we're at in that process and why this is coming before those next agreements are coming.
Much appreciated.
Well, I want to
Yes.
thank you too for sticking this out. This has not been a short progress or a short process, but appreciate you guys keep working and trying to get this done because I think it'll be a great project for the city.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Still have a question for Director Marvin, or Carrie. Did I say Marvin?
You did.
Try to, but you.
No.
He's
Duck back
hiding.
there, will you?
Don't go away, Director Marvin. Welcome, Director Carey. Thank you.
I think I asked this question a long time ago when we were doing this project. The zoning of the R, how close is it to the zoning of across the creek? What we have across the creek is Cosmic Eye Brewery. Is it close enough that it's going to cause any problem for them?
So it's a good question to ask because the new residential will be within what would be the typical separation that we would require for sale of alcohol on site. The clarification that I can provide you and everybody today is that pre-existing alcohol sales can continue to operate even if the other use that would typically be separated more comes to them because they're pre-existing. So they can continue to operate as they have been, even with that residential there in the future. And then the further clarification that I received on this is that even if Cosmic Eye at some point wanted to expand or change their footprint, just because the residential is there now, because they're pre-existing, they could still even ask for a special permit at this point for the expansion and go through that approval process. So there wouldn't be an automatic no to an expansion even. Doesn't mean they would be approved, but they would be allowed that process, and it's possible that they could, get provision for an expansion. So it's a very good question to ask because the Cosmic Eye is already there and operating.
So they being grandfathered, what if they decided to sell the business to another?
So
they could continue if they sold it to a completely different, and they had to come in and apply for a completely different alcohol permit.
So
Would
they
they still be able to apply?
The sale of alcohol would apply to the property still. So even if there's a change of ownership, if that new owner wanted to use that, they could.
Okay, so the whole property could be?
Yes.
Okay.
Other questions for Director Carey? All right, seeing none, thank you very much. Anyone else present that would like to speak on this item? Anyone else present on this item? All right. Seeing none, we can move on.
Item 6F is approving the StarTran transportation agreement between the city and the Board of Regents of the University of Nebraska for StarTran to provide transit service between UNL Main Campus and East Campus, routes 24 and 25, and Main Campus and Nebraska Innovation Campus, Route 22, with a term to expire on August 25th, 2024, with an option to renew for one additional 2-year term.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Liz Elliott, Director of Lincoln Transportation and Utilities, 555 South 10th Street. This is just another chapter in our long partnership with the university. The StarTran University partnership dates back, I think, to 1994. I think that's when it started. But it's one that it has evolved over time. It started off with one route, grew into 2. At peak, we had 4 routes, but 2020, 2021, it was reduced down to 3 routes, which is what this contract covers. Historically, these have been separate contracts, which made it very hard to keep them together and created issues. So one of the goals with this one, both on the university side and ours, was let's just get one contract, put everything together, and do that. We also timed it with our fiscal year, and UNL's fiscal year is just slightly off, but we've pretty much hit as close as we could to both fiscal years. So unfortunately, negotiations took a little longer. So this first round is not a full 2 years. We did have to do an interim bridge contract from September up until January, and that was using the old pricing just because we were still negotiating this. So this actually will cover January to the end of August, and then a full year after that with the renewal options. We were slow in getting that all put together, and this has been approved by the Board of Regents. So it's gone through all of their steps. This is the last step in the process. There is an increase in prices on this the first year of this, including the bridge contract. So we're taking the temporary contract, and this contract would have been a total of $2,630,758. The full year of this contract for the second year is $2,874,575. This covers the increased prices that we have seen in fuel in our CIP projects that benefit the university, as well as just ongoing our personnel costs and all of that. So that reflects those costs. The one thing I will note is this does not include the Big Red Express services, which you see on game days or special events. That is something that we just have a separate MOU with them. There's no fees or monies exchanged between the university. We just have a flat rate fee that we charge for those events that cover the cost of those services. With that, I would open it up to any questions you may have.
Questions for Director Elliott? Comments? All right, seeing none, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Anyone else present to speak on this item? Item 6F, anyone else? Okay, seeing none, we can move on.
That ends our public hearing. We can move on to ordinances, third reading, and related resolutions. Item 7A is text amendment 22013, request to the Planning Department to amend Lincoln Municipal Code sections 27.02020, 27.02.160, 27.02170, 27.06100, 27.06.150, 27.62.180, 27.63.010, 27.63.020, 27.63.470, 27.63.680, 27.63.690, 27.63.730, 27.67.040, 27.69.035, 27.72.080, 27.72.120, and figure 27.67.040 to improve the development review process and to add clarity and flexibility to the sections amended, and repealing said sections and figure as hereto existing, which was introduced by Raybold.
So moved by McGinnis.
Is there a second? Seconded by Shob. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please call the vote.
Bowers?
Yes.
McGinnis?
Yes.
Washington?
Yes.
Suarez?
Yes.
Shob?
Yes.
Ward?
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0. Item 7B is the First Amendment to the Conditional Annexation Agreement for Foxtail Meadows Housing Subdivision. Amendment addresses construction and funding of intersection improvements on South Folsom Street to serve future residents of Foxtail Meadows Addition and Pioneers Boulevard and South Folsom Streets, introduced by Raybold.
So moved by McGinnis.
Second.
Seconded by Washington. Further discussion? Seeing none, please call the vote.
Washington?
Yes.
McGinnis?
Yes.
Suarez?
Yes.
Shob?
Yes.
Bowers?
Yes.
Ward?
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0. Item 7C is approving the Foxtail Meadows Phase 1 project redevelopment agreement between the city and SOFO Housing relating to the redevelopment of the property generally located at Pioneers Boulevard and South Folsom Streets, introduced by Raybold.
So moved by McGinnis.
Second.
Seconded by Washington. Further discussion?
I just had a question.
Yes, Councilwoman Suarez.
I just noted that there were area median income qualifications at 60%, 80%, and 120%. And so I wondered if there were other units that were available that didn't have those income limits.
Good question. Is Director Carey or Director Marvin, you're still here. Can you help answer this question, please? Good question.
Would you like me to repeat that question?
Yes,
Okay.
could you?
Yeah.
Dan Marvin, Urban Development, 555 South 10th Street.
Great, thank you. So my question is, I know that there are units that are dedicated to 60% of area median income, 80% and 120%. I was wondering if there were any other units that didn't have those limits at all, or is it all?
There will be later, there will be some market rate housing, which there's another category which is a little more nebulous called workforce housing or middle income housing. So it should be a slightly higher price point than those as well.
I just saw the term mixed income, so I was wondering
Yes.
what are we referring to? So thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Director Marvin. Thank you, Councilwoman, for that great question. Very good question. Okay. Any other questions or discussion from the council? All right. Madam Clerk, could you please keep us moving?
Yep, I'll call the roll on this item. Bowers?
Yes.
McGinnis?
Yes.
Suarez?
Yes.
Washington?
Yes.
Schob?
Yes.
Ward?
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0. Item 7D is amending the fiscal year 2022-2023 CIP to authorize and appropriate $5,590,000 in TIF funds for the Foxtail Meadows Phase 1 redevelopment project, introduced by Raybold.
So moved by McGinnis.
Second.
Seconded by Washington. Further discussion? Seeing none, please call the vote.
Washington?
Yes.
McGinnis?
Yes.
Suarez?
Yes.
Schob?
Yes.
Bowers?
Yes.
Ward?
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0. Item 7E is authorizing the issuance of tax allocation bonds for the Foxtail Meadows Phase 1 redevelopment project in an amount not to exceed $5,590,000, introduced by Raybold.
So moved.
Second.
Seconded by Washington. Further discussion? Seeing none, please call the vote.
Washington?
Yes.
McGinnis?
Yes.
Suarez?
Yes.
Schob?
Yes.
Bowers?
Yes.
Ward?
Yes.
Motion carried 6-0. That ends our ordinances and vote session. Our resolutions first reading are items 8A through 8J. Ordinances first reading are items 9A through 9B. And our pending list items are 10A through 10C.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Tonight is open microphone night for those who may have been waiting. You may address the council on any issue or matter that's not on this agenda and not planned to appear on a future agenda. You may do so at this time. You're allowed a total of 5 minutes to speak, regardless of the number of topics that you may have. And for the month of January, this evening and January 30th are our open microphone sessions. Is there anyone here that would like to address the council? Please come forward. Is there anyone here that would like to address the council on any item that is not on our agenda? Okay.
We'll see.
Go ahead. No, it's yours.
We'll see no one coming forward for open public comment. I ask for adjournment. I move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we adjourn. Could you please call the vote?
Yes.
Washington?
Yes.
Bowers?
Yes.
Schob?
Yes.
McGinnis?
Yes.
Ward?
Yes,
Motion carried 6-0.
we are adjourned.